Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar. And I really want to take the time to thank Ingrid for coming out and doing this today's session. And as many of you know, Ingrid Menninga has been, did I pronounce your name correct, by the way?
Menninga.
Menninga
yes.
has been doing a lot of social media over the years here and is an expert in the field. And she's going to present a very good webinar today, which, of course, you see on the screen, where old school meets social. So we're very much looking forward to it. If you have any questions during the session, if you could please type them into the balloon chat box, and we'll have a Q&A after the session's over. So I'll hand it all over to you, Ingrid.
Perfect. Thank you. I'm just going to do a little audio visual check. Can you guys write in the chat box that you can see me and you can hear me? I just want to make sure that we're all good there. I don't have anyone responding, so I'm hoping that you can all see.
All good, yeah. I got a response. All good.
Okay, great. So it looks like you can see those. I can't see those, Jared. So if there's any problems, you got to sort of give me a heads up. I can't see that. Okay, so thank you so much for everybody that's joining us. I'm really excited to chat about where old school meets social, because as I have discovered from going out and chatting to brokers and different people, people seem to think that those are on opposite sides and aren't necessarily friends. So I'm going to dispel some of that today. I just want to take a second and say thank you so much for Jared, Verico Canada, for giving me this opportunity. I'm going to give you guys a ton of value. I super appreciate your time. I promise you this is going to be worth your while. Okay, so a little bit about me. In case you haven't met me, and by the way, I'm very friendly, so if you want to send me a friendship request on Facebook, I will accept it. Just look for the girl in the yellow shirt when you type my name. I've worked 15 years in the mortgage and real estate marketing space. I actually started Royal LePage Canada's first ever national social media campaign in 2008. Before people really understood the value of what social can do for your business, and it was an amazing learning opportunity, and I'm going to share tons of things about how you guys that are interested in referral business and connecting with realtors and how you can really leverage old school plus social to have great success in this space. In case you're not familiar, so I am the founder of Jolt Marketing, and we are Canada's largest provider of done-for-you social media for mortgage brokers. And I am a huge advocate of old school plus social to generate leads that close. I just want to point out our website is joltmarketing.com. If you want free lead generation tips and tricks, we have tons of them there. Sign up where it says leave your first name and get some free tips, and I'll send them to you right away. Now, old school versus new school marketing. And it's really funny. Why does this have to be versus, and why can't this be more of a collaboration? Because for ultimate success, you do need to have both of these. So I'm going to chat with you exactly how that works. This is called a millionaire cake. I didn't make this up. It actually is called a millionaire cake. And I want you to think about your business, and I want you to think about lead generation and sales like this cake. 3 layers. Ingrain this in your head, okay? So the bottom layer is really the foundation. It's a chocolate layer. So that's where the old school fits, right? So your old school is like phone calls to past clients, lunches with referral partners, and networking events. These are hugely valuable. That is the foundation for your business. One of the things that I see is that a lot of people that are really comfortable on the social space could sometimes use some brushing up on their old school tactics, like being comfortable using phone calls to call people up, connect with people in that sort of way. If you're not comfortable with that, take some sales training. I'm sure Verico has tons of scripts and things that you can follow. You got to nail that because it's really, really, really critical. So that's your foundation, right? So where do I want to go? Oh, this is my cake. Okay, that's your chocolate layer. The next is really your social layer. Okay, so the vanilla part, that's your social. So your social media marketing, your social follow-up, and your self-promotion online. I got to say, I don't know if it's a uniquely Canadian challenge or if it's a mortgage broker challenge. I'm going to say it's more of a mortgage broker challenge because I see realtors are very comfortable self-promoting. Mortgage brokers, not so much. It's time for us to improve on that. I mean, I think at the ultimate level, if you think about your business, you're helping people to achieve their financial goals. That's something that I would want to be shouting from the rooftops. I wouldn't keep that a secret at all. So this is your social. Your next layer, mine happens to be pink in my millionaire cake. Yours can be whatever color you want, but that's really your secret sauce. That is your special skill. That's something that you do uniquely your way, right? Me, I love public speaking, so that's my top layer. My public speaking is, I'm super comfortable. Other people, they're amazing hosts, so client appreciation parties. You got to figure out what your thing. It doesn't necessarily need to be something that seems like it's a hard business skill like public speaking. It could be that you make amazing cookies and you hand deliver these closing gifts to your clients, and that's your unique sort of trademark special thing. But you want your millionaire cake. You need to have these 3 layers in there, okay? The old school, the social, and then your secret sauce. Now, in sort of the critical elements that you need to have nailed down in your old school and social recipe, the first thing is you need to have clarity and understanding the difference between active and passive lead generation. Active lead generation is when you're very actively involved. You're calling your database. That means you're physically picking up your phone, old school. You're making the calls, you're making the connection, you're doing mortgage checkups, you're running a first-time home. Those things are active lead generation. The passive lead generation is things like sending newsletters. It doesn't matter to me if it's an e-newsletter, if it's a printed newsletter, if it's a delivery of magazines to your clients, whatever it is, but something like that, and also doing your social media updates. Now, just in case you need some more clarity on this, you do active lead generation to get new business. This is the fastest way to get new business. And you do passive lead generation to keep the clients you have, okay? If you want to maintain your business, you're okay to only do passive lead generation. Happens to us at all different points in our life. Maybe you get sick. Maybe somebody in your house gets sick and you've got to slow down a little bit. You know, maybe you're growing your family. Maybe your parents are elderly and need anything, right? Life happens in this business. And that's when you can sort of defer to the maintenance mode and just have your e-newsletters and your social media working in the background for you. But if you want to grow your business, you need to be doing active and passive lead generation. You have to be doing both of them, okay? The second thing is you really need to be where people are looking for you and make sure they know about it. So if you are the social creeping type and you're just watching what everybody else is doing, there is no visibility for you. There is no awareness for you. Nobody knows that you're in that space. This is free marketing. It's an awesome opportunity. I would definitely encourage you to take that. We're seeing successful brokers are social brokers because their clients and referral partners are social. It's not even really optional at this point. If you were at Camp in Montreal last year, they had a broker panel, lots of top brokers. The question came up, how many of you guys are using social media? Every single one of them said, you have to be at this point. It's not optional. Just some little data to sort of support this. Canadians are spending 2.5 hours a day on social networks. Now, to clarify this, that doesn't mean that they are literally sitting on their sofa for 2.5 hours straight, only looking at Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn or watching YouTube videos or any of that stuff. It's really integrated in our daily life. So if you're in the line to get your dry cleaning, you might be looking on Facebook. If you are waiting for your appointment to show up, you might be looking on Twitter. If you are, and this is against the law, but everyone does it, waiting in traffic or something like that, you might be checking out LinkedIn. It's really integrated. It's not just that alone. We have the highest level of connectivity in the world. 91% of Canadians have a social media account. 66% are regular users. Now, how does this relate to mortgage brokers and what you guys do? Well, what we're seeing is a massive increase in the number of people that are actually using social media to gather information about mortgages. This is from CMHC. In 2014, it was 22%, at least 22%. That number doesn't blow me over, but what I'm really interested in is this number actually increases 90% every year. Now, just to clarify this, that doesn't mean that people are going into Facebook and they're typing in mortgages as a search term. What they happen to be doing is looking on their Facebook feed or their Twitter or, as that news comes down and they find out people's information and they find out what they're doing or the pictures they're posting or their updates. If there happens to be an article about how you can leverage the equity in your house and buy an investment property and your clients or somebody you're connected with happens to be interested in that topic, they'll click on that and they'll use that information. Now, this is very early on in sort of your sales funnel process. So you want to be the provider of this information so that you have started to plant the seed that you know about this topic and that you're the go-to person for this. In terms of a breakdown, my 3 favorite sites, this has remained totally consistent almost since the beginning: Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. They each offer a totally unique purpose. They have very high market share. If any of you have, say, teenagers in your house and you're saying, well, my kids are all on like Tumblr and, I don't know about this, or they're on Snapchat, what I'm really interested at this point is people that are at the age where they are interested in buying a home now, within the next 6 months, or maybe within the next 12 months, okay? That's where I want to be focusing my marketing time. If you have like a 7-year sales funnel, that's great. But if you're like, I want this to be effective in my business right now, you want to focus on Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. If you only focus on one, Facebook is your best friend. It has the highest number of users. It's consistently kept and been the number one. Now, how does this influence people's chance of buying or referring? Massively. And that goes back to the point that I was saying, make yourself visible, because if people don't know that you're out there, they can't refer you. If you don't have visibility, if you don't have prominence, if you're not top of mind, people can't refer you, or they might not even know. They might not remember what you do. So you can gently remind them without being salesy. Please do not post things about, I've got the best rates, call me today, get pre-approved, and don't post things about anything that's salesy, right? It just doesn't work. People don't go to be sold in this space. But if you can gently remind them, you'll be very successful in this. An example I have for this is I was the marketing manager for Royal LePage Canada, 14,000 plus agents that I was supporting. I would see them at conferences. I'd have dinner with them, lunch with them, a glass of wine with them. I'd talk on the phone. I'd host webinars for them, all of these things. I was asked last year when I was in Edmonton, well, who can you refer me to in real estate in Edmonton? And the amazing thing is I only came up with 2 names, one of them that has nothing to do with Royal LePage Canada, but I know those names because I see them on Twitter and Facebook. You need to have that top-of-mind awareness if you want people, and it's consistency. It's not that I one time saw a post and it was really funny. It's like I see the updates from those people every single week. I can't forget about them. Which leads to my next point. Some of the heaviest users of social media are realtors and referral partners. I know this because I'm in tons of forums, groups, secret groups belonging to realtors and referral partners because I sort of work with mortgage brokers and realtors are extremely heavy users of social media. If you want to connect with people, if you met them at a networking event and you want to keep that relationship alive, social media is a great place to do it. The other reason that I really love this is that you can post 3 times a week to social media every week, but you definitely can't email your database 3 times a week. There's no way. The unsubscribes would be phenomenally high. So just keep that in mind in terms of like top-of-mind awareness. You need to make sure that regularly people are seeing what you're doing. And if you're posting 3 times a week to social media, not everyone's going to see every post that you ever do. Of course, that's not a realistic expectation, but they'll see it enough, right? But you can email your database once a month maybe. You can't email them like 12 times a month. There's no way. The next thing that you really want to do is make yourself a resource center. So I said before, don't post things like get the best rates, get a cheap mortgage, call me today for a pre-approval. Don't do that. It doesn't work. It's totally ineffective. Share information that your clients are looking for, and you don't necessarily need to do all the heavy lifting, and I'll tell you about that a little bit later. But you want to make sure that you understand at the social part of the sales process, where people are searching for information and they're interested and they start reading your articles and you post some things about how this couple got out of debt and then they bought a home and, now they're on their way to financial freedom. Those sort of articles, if you're sharing them, not only will people start to associate you with their sort of long-term financial success, but the other thing is very early on in that process, when they've started to think about, I kind of want to turn my financial ship around, I want to get, myself organized, they're going to start to read your articles. It's not necessarily like, okay, I think we're going to buy a house, we're going to put an offer next week, now I'm going to read your articles. It's very early out, so make sure that you're offering that information further out, which is where the consistency comes so critically important. So the kind of things that you want to do on social media for success, you need to educate people, okay? You need to educate people. I wouldn't recommend that you only had things about mortgage news or real estate news or financial freedom success stories. That's a part of what you want to offer. People ultimately go to social media to engage with others, to find out what their friends are up to play some games, to pass some time, and also to be entertained. So make sure that you do have a mix of the three of those things that you're offering. And I would say, in addition to this, do offer a slight glimpse into your personal life, okay? And I don't mean deeply personal. You don't need to be an oversharer, but share some information so that you don't seem like a total stranger. Sometimes you're going to have to call people up and say, hey, I'd love to get a testimonial from you, or I'd love to get this, can you help me out? I saw you connected me with your friend. Would you mind picking up the phone and actually conferencing all of us in so that it doesn't seem like a cold lead anymore? If you're sharing personal information and you're sharing a picture of your family or your dog or something so that people see you as a human being, you'll be much more successful when you actually come to do those sort of things versus just sort of offering business news only. I see that's a mistake that some people make, and usually their posts are not that successful. Your posts that are funny, your posts that are a picture of your cat stuck in a tree are going to get way more of a response in terms of likes and comments than a post about mortgage news will. But you need to have these educational things about mortgage news or wealth building and money saving tips so that people just make that connection between you and mortgages, or you and building wealth, or you and financial freedom. That's a very sort of subliminal marketing that you can do. Don't miss that opportunity because you see, well, people are responding way better to my funny pictures. I'm just going to start to do funny pictures. You're missing the opportunity to plant that seed about what you do. Now, when I talk about consistency, this is sort of what consistency might look like. 3 times a week, spread out. I've got a mix of holiday greetings. I've got some information. I've got some news that's interesting. Now, I don't want to intimidate you with this, so don't be freaked out by this. But what I do want to say is that you do need to have consistently several times a week so that even if your clients, prospects, referral partners, friends, they only log in, twice a month to Facebook, say, that they are actually seeing some of the stuff that you're doing. One of the mistakes that I see a lot of brokers make is when they have a little downtime, they'll be like, oh, great, I'm going to catch up on my social media. And so what they'll do is they will post 5 articles today, and then tomorrow they'll be like, oh, the phone rang. I got to get back to this person. I got to get them, qualified. I've got to check this out. I'm missing some documents. Oh, no, the deal's going to fall apart. Life gets in the way. And then for the next 3 months, there's nothing. Well, if I'm somebody that's actually looking to get a mortgage from you and I want to see that you consistently are offering information, that's very important for people in terms of the impression they get of you. I don't necessarily want to see 7 articles on one day. I would prefer to see 7 articles over a few weeks. That would be way more effective. The other thing, if any of you are thinking about growing your team, if you are, do some recruiting, you want some new brokers in your office and stuff like that, people will very often vet you by what they see in terms of your online reputation. This is something that's getting more and more and more notice right now. People are really looking at you online at all the different sites that you might be mentioned in your Facebook page, your personal Facebook, your Twitter, your LinkedIn, things like that. So make sure that you're showing that you're actually on top of this social thing and you're not totally behind. I know a few people that have considered joining brokerages and thought, you know what, I don't know, this is kind of an indicator to me that we're not really moving ahead with the future. So you got to think like that. And you also need to think about new consumers. Your first-time home buyers, they're huge consumers of social media. They're going to check you out online. So make sure that you actually have something there that's going to give someone the right impression about you. You don't want to have a vacuum of content, meaning you have nothing there. Okay, big one. Big. You must publicly praise, compliment, applaud, okay? This is a pot of honey. There's some little saying about you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. I don't want flies, but I'll tell you one thing. Money will stick to honey more than it sticks to vinegar. And I'm assuming that you're mortgage brokers because you'd like to make a decent living in this, or a phenomenal living, or whatever your preference is. But you need to really have a honey pot in the social space. So I got some examples for you. Some of them are mine. Some of them are others. Now, if I ever go to an event, and you'll see this if you add me, if you're already my friend on Facebook, it's not really about me. So don't think about the social media and I got to post pictures of me having a peanut butter sandwich and, oh, my God, why do I care what this person did? It's not about you, okay? Make it about other people. So here's an example. It's official. The dark chocolate nut clusters from Phil at Atrium is giving away at IMBA's PD Day are awesome. If you're not in Ontario, IMBA's are like Provincial Mortgage Broker Association, it's AMBA, it's MBABC, whatever the provincial ones, right? So I'm just saying a nice thing, nut clusters, this guy. I'm giving a shout out to Phil, to the lender, and to IMBA. That's 3 different people that I'm saying, hey, I love what you're doing, right? And if you look at the likes and if you look at the comments, it actually does get traction. It gets noticed, okay? So you can do the same thing in your business. Now, if I mention you do this for even your lenders, don't think about, well, these people service me, so you always got to be receiving. No, trust me. If you give, when it comes time to receive, you will receive much more, I promise you. So here's an example. So I was at AMBA. Congrats to Sandy Fisher on your leadership award, right? And I use the hashtag because I know that AMBA wants people to be socially active and use their hashtag, right? Again, likes, comments, shares, okay? Now, as it turned out, I was like, that's right. Sandy Fisher uses our Done For You social media service. I would love to get a testimonial from her. Now, when I sent her an email and said, can I ask you a favor? Can you just put together 2 lines for me quickly? She was incredibly responsive. She got back to me right away. And I'm not saying that you do these things because you're thinking, I'm going to be nice to people so they give back to me. No, that's not the intention. It's not always going to happen. But I promise you, if you're really nice to people online, and if you tag them so they actually know, and you give to other people, you give to AMBA, you give to this person, you will get much more back. So you think about your referral partners, you think about the realtors that you work with, you think about the lenders that you work with, you think about your service providers that you work with, you think about Verico Canada. If they did something great for you, some good support, it was awesome to see Sean and Jared out at a meeting or whatever, publicly give. You will be rewarded, I promise you. This is like the easiest winning social media strategy ever. So some examples on Twitter, what you might do. This is actually a page that I manage, so great to meet this person last night at this event. I'm making this about other people, right? The fastest growing sector in entrepreneurship is women. Thanks for that, Allie Brown. That's somebody who champions the cause of female entrepreneurship, right? I woke up at 4 a.m. feeling so inspired after hearing this person speak at the Toronto chapter of eWomen Network, which is a huge network of women entrepreneurs. Now, if you look at that, and if people really know, and yourself included, if you really know what you're doing on the social space, if you are either in this one, like, oh, I can use my little pointer, right? So if you're the eWomen Network, or if you are Kate Wheeler, you're going to retweet this. You're going to give me some social media love. So if you look at this one, right, the second one for Allie Brown, the fastest growing sector in entrepreneurship is women. Thanks for that, Allie Brown. I posted that just thinking, oh, that's interesting. Well, she retweeted it and she favorited it, and I got instantly 10 new followers, okay? If you want to grow your social voice, it really helps if you give, but attach your wagon to other people that are very prominent in the space that you want to be in. And here's another example. So Sandra Yancey, she's the founder of eWomen Network. She retweeted this, and that was great. It didn't get as much a response. So I'm going to make sure that in the future I do more mentions of Allie Brown because that got me more followers. But the whole theory, and this is such an awesome, so glad that I learned this sort of business tip from Sandra Yancey. She said, one thing that you have to see is that generosity is one of the most successful business growth strategies in this economy. And it is so true. I want you to write that down, write it on your forehead, put it on your wall, put it on your mirror. Generosity is one of the most successful business strategies. Give to others before you ever need to ask to receive. You will definitely be rewarded. Now, what I showed you there was just stuff that I do when I'm out and I'm at events. But the rest of the time, it's all automated, right? This isn't me actually posting. This is our service that I use for the Jolt Marketing page because I can't keep up. If I'm not regularly posting that consistency, I will definitely not only lose followers, but I'm going to lose that awareness about I'm always out, I've got information that's interesting. It's really funny that on the social space, your perception is a reality, and what you do is hugely amplified. So by going to one event and posting 5 pictures, it will look like you're all over the place, right? That might not be a reality, but that's the impression that you are way bigger than who you actually are. The same thing goes for if you post nothing ever, but you send me requests for Candy Crush Saga or Farmville or whatever game is your favorite. For me, that really subliminal mental message that you send me is that you have nothing going on in your business and that you're playing games during business hours. That doesn't send a super professional message. Bare minimum, make sure you turn off those notifications to, send everybody requests because it doesn't look awesome. They'll send them unsolicited sometimes. I know I don't play Candy Crush Saga, but I sort of know how it goes. You need to get more points, so you send out more requests for people to join you. If you're sending that out at 10 o'clock on Tuesday morning, and I'm your referral partner, and I'm waiting for you to get back to me on something, what message does that send? Not a good one. So turn those notifications off. Don't play those games during business hours. But also make sure that you have this going on, that you have things automated or you're posting consistently to make sure that you have that top-of-mind awareness, right? So here's what it looks like on Facebook, right? If you choose your mortgage based on rate alone, you may not be getting the best deal. Just regular updates, May 13th, May 11th, right? Another example, so May 29th, May 28th, something about furniture, daily savings adding up, just little tips. The next thing that you really want to do is you got to get the last word, okay? So here's an example. I'll look at Bank of Canada's recent rate cut decision and why lenders will follow suit, okay? Are you taking advantage? So a post. Now, look at Jerry Francis. I'm going to use my pointer again. I love this little feature. Look at Jerry Francis. He says, mine comes due this June. That is somebody literally raising their hand and saying, without saying, I want to talk to you. That is definitely a prospect. Now, one of the things that I see brokers doing is naturally you're excited. It's a prospect, right? So you're going to call Jerry and you're going to say, hey, Jerry, I saw your post on my Facebook page. Why don't you come in and chat with me? Well, if you don't leave this message here where it says, hey, Jerry, we should chat about your mortgage renewal, people will get the impression that you left that and didn't answer it. You have to have the last word. Like I said, perception is reality, okay? Make sure you put that there, okay? Here's another one. An underwriter calls you at 6:46 to let you know, your file's complete. Great. Somebody asks a question, can you do loans in Texas? Can you do loans in Texas? Even if you don't do loans in Texas, even if this is totally not relevant to you, get back to this person, right? I am multi-state licensed, but in Texas, I have a great referral partner, okay? Don't let that conversation die. You want to have the last word. The next thing is you must know your value and how much your time is worth. Because if you're not very careful about this, let's all be honest, how many of you guys love cold calling, love calling new referral partners, love calling your database? Not many, right? Let's all be honest. But it's very comfortable to look on Facebook and look on Twitter and see what people are up to. You have to follow this basic recipe. Number one, set your income goal. Number two, find your hourly rate, which is super simple. Your goal income divided by 2. Take that number and delete the last 3 zeros. So if you want to make $200,000 a year, your time is worth $100 an hour. Now, just so you know, there are some assumptions built in here. Number one, that you work a 40-hour work week, and number two, that you're working 50 weeks a year. If that is zero interesting to you, you probably want to double the amount that you need to make per hour to hit that income goal. This is purely an example. You set your own. But what you need to be very aware of is your time is worth everything. You need to really, part of number 3, determine what delivers for you. Is updating Facebook going to get you more clients than calling your past clients? Even as a social media expert, I will tell you it is not. The best way to grow your business very fast is to do the active lead generation, the calling your database, the meeting referral partners, doing the networking with awesome follow-up. That is a great way to really grow your business. But you must have that passive part working in the background for you, okay? The next thing is consider getting help. So many brokers are trying to do everything themselves, and it's admirable. It's great, right? But if you are going to Staples to pick up your business cards after they got printed, if you're going to a different print shop to get your banners for your trade show, if you're doing all of these things, that time that you're spending driving, that you're spending not calling your database and not doing mortgage checkups and not having those referral lunches is time that is money spent that you're not necessarily going to get back. Okay? Automate. Save huge amounts of time with automation. I cannot tell you how important this is. You want to automate your passive lead generation. It's going to save you tons of time, stress, and money. Use a CRM program. Yay, broker base, right? The only reason not to is if you just love having a really difficult time in your business. The other things that you can automate, which I'd strongly recommend, automate your Facebook, right? There's programs to manage your Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn for less than $40 a month. It's totally worth your time. This will stop you from losing that really valuable repeat and referral business because you've never kept in touch. Number one reason why brokers lose clients, repeat clients, because they never kept in touch. That's not me saying that. That CAMP reports that every single year with their merits report that they do. Okay, if you don't have that automation, that keep in touch, you will definitely severely limit your success, okay? The amount of time that you're going to save with your automation, obviously huge amounts of time with your CRM, with your social media, you're going to save about 16 hours a month. I'm going to take 1 second before we get to questions and tell you about our done-for-you social media service for mortgage brokers. And then for those of you that are interested, I can tell you how to get a free trial and test it out. Basically what happens is we have a community manager that finds, screens, and posts mortgage broker approved content to our system. How it works, we find amazing content online that's mortgage broker positive, from the Globe and Mail, National Post, Financial Post, all over. And Jared, you're going to have to help me out for a second because my computer is actually restarting as I'm talking to you.
All right, okay. No
But I can
problem.
keep on
We're here
going.
to fill in. At this point in time, if you have any questions, I'll probably say to that. And Ingrid, first and foremost, thank you so much for today's session and everything. But if you have any questions, please type them into the balloon box right now, and then we can answer the questions during the Q&A. And you gave some extremely valuable tips there. And I think one of the key things with social media, as you said, is you got to engage with people. And you got to make sure you're making your comments, liking things, and don't make it all about yourself, but spread it around definitely. And for sure, I firmly believe business should be a small percentage of what you're promoting on Facebook.
Definitely. One of the questions that I get asked all the time is, well, if my client does something great, is it enough that I just like their posts? And I would say if you want your client if you want to stand out and you really want to be remembered, no. You have to add a comment there. It's not enough to just like it.
Mm-hmm. So one of the questions was they asked about Google Plus.
Okay.
About using it. Is there a thought of should be involved in Google Plus or?
I would definitely have your business, your business listed on Google. I know there are some people that are hardcore Google Plus fans. I'm not a big fan. I try everything. Literally, I try everything. And then I just really stick and focus on what works for me. I haven't had massive success with Google Plus. I think some of the things that add to that is, number one, they don't necessarily have the huge numbers. A lot of people thought because Google's doing it, it's going to be amazing and it's going to take over the internet. But what actually happened is, if you can start a Facebook, you can very easily, following the same logic, start a Twitter and start LinkedIn and know how to use them very quickly. Google Plus is entirely different. So a lot of people started Google Plus and then thought, well, I can't really figure this out. Forget it. So the rate of abandonment of Google Plus pages is huge.
That is definitely not mainstream as the other three that you have.
I want to be where my clients are. Right?
Yeah,
you're
the clients
a mortgage broker,
for sure.
Yeah, be where your clients are.
With your social media program, are you still able to make personal posts as well?
I not even encourage, I really urge you to. I mean, if you're really, we have some people that are extremely busy or your personal life gets in the way or whatever. Yeah, for sure. There can be times where we do it all for you. But I would strongly encourage you, Sandy Fisher is one of the examples, right? We post for her, but every week or something, she's posting a picture about a vacation she took or a concert she's going to with her husband or something. Let people personally know you. Yeah.
Well, she's always in good stead with husbands, right? We always are. Never.
You're not lying.
RBC uses a program called Hearsay. I don't know if you've heard of that.
Okay.
They're
I've heard of it.
Is your program similar to that where it posts to Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn with information? So I'm assuming yes.
So it is similar to that. You need to be very aware of, if you guys want to do this on your own, 100% you can. You can read through articles. You can vet which ones. If you want to take it to an extreme, you could even do your own blogging, right? I'm not going to discourage people from doing that, but I would really use that with caution. If you are not extremely technically comfortable, blogging is not easy for you because that learning curve, knowing how to do that with widgets you need, the plugins, SEO, what lead funnels you have set up, do you attach it to a CRM? It's a totally different ballgame. You would have way more success faster if you just actually picked up the phone and called your database, right? That's not a secret. When it comes time to other programs you can use Hootsuite, right? They have a free service, but you still need to read all the articles and post them. My caution about using any bank-provided CRM, well, why would the bank have a CRM system, right? Obviously to promote bank products, right? Do you have a relationship with RBC where they're passing you deals and you would be comfortable with posts going out saying, visit your RBC branch? Mm-hmm. I wouldn't if I was a mortgage broker. So ours is brand agnostic. It doesn't that's kind of the advantage there, where it doesn't matter where in the country, what company you work with, which lenders you work with. It works for all of that. So you got to be sort of careful. Free isn't really free. Let's all say that, right? Facebook isn't free either. They take all your information and sell it to companies.
Right. Exactly. Good. Is there any other questions as we got people in line? If there's any other questions. Yeah, just comment there is social tool for mortgage specialists and investment providers, and definitely, I think you know what you want to do is use a service like Ingrid and then personalize it as well. I think is a great combination for you to really branch out and to get involved in it. And as you get more involved in the social media side of it, you'll have fun with it. This is about injecting your personality into it on your personal side, and Ingrid could run the business side for you.
I would. So we have a lot of people where we actually manage their business pages and their personal. So you can do it any which way you want. You can have us, so for example with Facebook, you can have us posting to your business page and you share the articles that you like if you want, or you can have us posting just for your personal, or you can having us post to both of them, right? But I will say there's a lot of discussion over, well, do I keep these things separate? Do I do just, I keep my family only on my personal and then I direct all of my clients to my business page? Well, I would encourage you to think about it this way. If you want to have clients that are really, like they have a sense of loyalty to you, you need to share some personal sort of stuff with them to get them feeling actually connected to you, right? Which means that you want to make sure that they know just a tiny bit about you personally, right? So what you want to do there is you do want to share some personal stuff. Do you do that on your business page? You could, but you know what? Like Facebook has really rigged the math against businesses. Any of you that have a business page have probably seen that. It happened the second week of 2014. The number of views that you got to your Facebook page went dramatically down, right? Because they figured, well, we want ad dollars from these people. So we want you to buy to have your audience see your posts. So that's where your personal profile gained a bit more prominence, if you will. Now, one thing I do want to say, because my slides got cut off, and thanks you guys for sticking around, if you are interested in getting a 14-day free trial and learning about how our service works, you can go to joltmarketing.com/mortgage bulletin, and make sure that you spell bulletin right, which is BULLETIN. So joltmarketing.com/mortgage bulletin.
Perfect. And that's where you get all your package information and everything for it.
Yeah, so there's details. You just leave basically what you do is you just leave your first name, your email, and the time that you'd like to have someone call you. Yeah. We'll be in touch with you, just sort of overview how the program works and get you set up with a free trial. So
fantastic. And we'll get that information out to everybody, too, when we send out our email about the session. So
wonderful. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Well, that concludes our time today, Ingrid. I really appreciate your time. The everything you gave today was really sound, and I encourage everyone to get involved in the social media. It is one of those things. It's like the internet. It's not going away, is it, Ingrid?
Not at all.
Exactly.
The other thing I would say is
get involved in it and have fun with it, and of course be careful. Don't post anything after hours, right?
Yeah, no drunk tweeting. Like we know that's a bad thing.
Exactly. All right. Have a great week, everyone, and then we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.